Okay. Do you hear me?
Welcome
Perfect.
back. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had
You were
some
muted.
problems with the setup. It's all good. So I would like to thank you again, the organization team, for the amazing job. So Carolina, Patricia, Jakub, thanks again for organizing this fantastic event. And I would also like to thank for the setup I have here today, because I'm in Wrocław. I came to the site. So if you are listening to this in the headquarters of Mirumi, if you look at your left, there is this glass box, and I'm sitting there. So you can, if you need this kind of like a recursion kind of situation, you can just go and see me. So let me start. I will just launch the presentation. And yeah, so today we'll be talking about the integrating the search with headless commerce. So my name is Jakub. I have my little corner on the internet at Zaiste.net, and I'm helping the Saleor team with the research, development, and developer relations. So it means that we are building those cool experiences, and we are exploring commerce, and we are trying to create apps and different solutions so that it's easier to create e-commerce shops and e-commerce experiences overall. So today I will be doing this live coding session. So I hope the live coding gods are in favor with me today. And we will be trying to build a simple application in React.js, and we will integrate it with a search engine called Typesense. So on the front end, we'll be using Next.js, and on the back end, we'll be using this open source platform called Saleor. And Saleor is an open source GraphQL platform for creating headless e-commerce solutions. So when you are building a shop or e-commerce solution, there is a lot of things you need to consider. And you can, for smaller shops, you can start with some pre-built starter pack. But if you are building something larger or something more complex, you need this flexibility. So you need a platform, a solution that will take care of that. And Saleor is doing exactly that. So it provides this GraphQL API to help you with the commerce notions. And when building production-grade applications, it may be sometimes difficult to integrate with different things in a coherent way. So we have, for example, we may want to not only create for the web, but we may want to create for the mobile. We may need to add payment systems. We may need to have some CMSs, and putting it together is a lot of work. So that's why the headless approach and GraphQL are a great match for that, to tame this complexity. And specifically today, I would like to focus on the search. So search is one example of integrating with some external tool. And search is probably one of the most important methods of interacting with the internet, with the information on the internet, because we not only want to find the information, but we want to do it in a fast, almost instant way. And this is especially true for e-commerce, because if viewers of your shop will find a product fast, it's probable that they will also buy it. So it's about converting viewers into customers. And for the search engine, we will be using Typesense. There's a lot of different tools, but Typesense is an open source solution. So you can, similarly to Saleor, you can host it yourself if you want to, but you can also use it on the cloud. And it allows you to add this search experience to your website. So let's start live coding. But before we do, a short maybe explanation how it will work. So this will be mostly a toy example, but it will show you, I hope, how easy and straightforward and simple it is to add something like a Typesense search to e-commerce website, to a storefront. And there will be some questions unanswered questions that we should cover when we want to build a production grade application. So I'm just telling you that now, so that you know that this is just the beginning. This is like a fundamental layer that we can use, a starting point, but later on there are still things we need to do. Okay, so let me switch and let's hope that this will work out. So the first thing we need to do is to create a storefront. So the Saleor team provides this creator, this starter pack called storefront, and we can just run it with Yarn. So let's go ahead and do that. So I will go here. I'm not sure if the font is good. And I will create a storefront. Here we need to give it a name. So let's call it GraphQL Wroclaw, and it failed. Okay, because I think I created something like that before. So let's call it GraphQL 2 maybe. So this creates a scaffold for a storefront, and it's already integrated with Saleor, and it's in Next.js. So let's see how it's, so this may take a while. So maybe instead of wasting time, let me just stop it, and I will use backup. This is the point that it generated with this tool, and let's run it to see how it does. So this is a typical Next.js application, and if we open it in our browser, it fetches a list of products from Saleor API. So as you can see, we already see the products. We have some base, and it configures Apollo client. It adds all the elements that you may need. And now we have the starting point. We can go further with that. So the GraphQL API provided by Saleor can be accessed through the playground, GraphQL playground. And here I'm using the URL that is used in this application. And we can, for example, maybe let's open this. So let's like that. And that. We are running it again. Fonts. Much. Something like that. So let's analyze the application. So it has some components. In config, we have our query. So if we copy that and we put it inside this playground, we can run it now, and it will return some products. So let's analyze what happens here. So first of all, we are asking for 12 products. We can ask for more. We are getting edges, node, and then the information about products. So in our case, it's ID, name, the URL of the thumbnail, and the category name. We are also giving a name to our query, so that in our application, because it's already pre-configured, we are using this CodeGen tool that automatically finds our GraphQL queries and converts them into hooks, so that if we open production collection, we will see that we have this hook over here, which is taken from the generated GraphQL file. So this generator is not ideal. I need to adjust a few things. So here, no, it's good, it's good. So now let's try to add the type sense search. So let's go back quickly. We have this list of products, and we want to add a search here so that when we type, it will automatically find those products. So let's maybe explain how Typesense work. So we have our products in a GraphQL API, but now we want to create an index so that Typesense can understand it. So in a nutshell, we need to copy it we need to extract it from our API and put it into our index. And in this application, we'll do it once, but this is a process that must be done constantly, because whenever something changes in our product list, it must be updated in the index. So we won't be covering that. We will just try to get this information from the GraphQL API so that we have it in our Typesense index. So we will do this in the populate file. So I will start with a file, and maybe I already started doing that. So let me just delete that. And I think this should be good. And the first thing we will do is probably we should install Typesense. So we will install Typesense, and we will also add, let me think, we need Typesense instant search, instant adapter, and then React instant search DOM. So we need those three things. I need some instant search. Okay, so we have that, and now we can focus on the populate file. So this would be the file that would be used to extract the information, to fetch the data from the GraphQL API, as we are doing on our website right now, and to convert it to Typesense index, so to the format that it's understood by Typesense. So first thing, so maybe let's do a plan here. So I will maybe write it like that. So we will have a main function. This will be just a script. And we will run this main function. And we will do three things. So the first thing is to get data from Saleor API. Then we will convert it from the response that we will be getting from Saleor into Typesense format. And then we will connect to Typesense. And finally, or maybe not finally, but we will define the schema for Typesense. And you will insert data into Typesense, the Typesense collection. And that should be good. So let's get started. So the first thing is to get data from the Saleor API. So as I said at the beginning, everything is already configured, so we can use the Apollo client, and we can just connect with the our API. So I'll just start copying some code. The first thing is to create the link with our URL, the same we are using for the playground. And then we need to create Apollo client. And of course, we need to import that. So we are importing that. So we need Apollo client. Later on, we will need the query results. That's good. And now here, in order to get the data, we will do data, and we will be getting Apollo query results. And because our query config is called latest products, we have latest products query undefined available here. So if I ask for it, it's not available, but I think if I just go here and I import it from latest products query from generated GraphQL like that. GraphQL. Good. So we have this, and then you will get data. So we will do await client. We created query, and as a query, we will use latest product document, which is also available from the generated GraphQL. So this happens automatically. Whenever you're adding a query and you're naming it, it will have those things generated for you. So we get the data. So now let's convert it. So we will be using this format. So this will be products, getting data again. Products is auto-completing, so edges, map, and here we will have node like that. And we will be returning name, node name, description. Let me just copy the rest. So we will have those 5 fields in our Typesense index like that. And now we are seeing this error. So we don't have description and we don't have pricing. So let's go ahead and go to our query because we don't have these fields in our query. When we add them, we add description, and now I need to regenerate. And once I regenerate and I go back to this place, as you can see, the description error disappears, and the same goes for pricing. So for pricing is a little bit more complex because pricing is complex in e-commerce. So let me just paste it here. So we are getting pricing from Saleor, then we are getting price range because products can have a range of prices, and we are interested for simplicity in the start price, and we are getting the amount as float. So now if I regenerate again, I should have this error disappearing, and it disappears. So we are good. So now let's continue. We have the data, we are extracting it. So we are mapping over the edges so that we have this structure. And now let's connect to the Typesense client. So before we can connect, we need to start it. So I will go here, and here we will just use Typesense server, which is a binary. We will point it to our data. We will give it an API key. So in our case, it's just YZ. And we are enabling course. So now it's running. We can go back to our code. So we will connect to the Typesense like that. So we are using the same API key. It's running on the port 8108. So we can just here quickly see the health of our instance. Typesense instance is okay. We are connecting, And let me just copy paste because I'm almost running out of time. So we will add the schema now. The schema is just products with those fields we defined earlier. So we have name, description, category, and it's almost all of them are string except for the price, which is float. And the next step would be to, first of all, delete the collection if it exists, so we can run the script again and again, and then let's insert it. So first we need to create the schema for our collection. So we are using create schema, which is the schema over here. And then finally we can insert the data. So we will use Typesense collections products again, documents, and insert products. So it says it's an error because I made a typo product. That. Okay, and it should be good. So we can remove that. And in our package.json, we will just add this line template, which goes into the scripts where we had those populate file. We compile it with TypeScript and we run it. So let's see if it works. I hope it works. Let's see. Fetch is not defined. Okay. So the problem is that we are running it in Node. So we need to, when we are creating our client, Apollo client, we just need to add this dependency, which is cross fetch, so that it works. Let me this. Run it. Worked. Awesome. I didn't expect that, but it works. So now we just need a few last things to change. So the first thing, I have 5 minutes, so maybe I will be able to do that. So we are displaying the collection at index, right? So we have the collection. We don't need the navigation. We have the header. And we have the products. So instead of displaying the products, we will just display three things. First of all, we will wrap the whole main section with the InstaSearch component. So we will do something like that. And here we are giving it the name of the products, the props, and the search client that we need to create. And then inside we will have two things. We will have hits, results, and the search box. And we need to close that. So let me just add this. And those three things come from the React Instant Search. And add it. It's okay. Let's see. Types. I have 4 minutes, hopefully. Okay. Will it work? It works. Okay. So let's run it. We forgot one thing. We need to, before we can add we need to configure the search client. So we just need to add this connection as we did in our script. Add it here at the beginning of our home. So we just add the instant search adapter. We are connecting to the same node as we did before with the same API key. We are adding some search parameters. that we want to query by name, category, and description with those specific settings. And one more thing, we just need to fix the props for our home component like that. And it's almost done. Let's see. It should work. I think I have 2 minutes. Okay. Hits. Okay. So just that for a moment. Full. It won't be pretty, but it displays something. And search. So quickly, there's the time. We need to just define the hit component. So I will just add it like hit x like that. Back. And okay. Let's see. We have something. It's not pretty, but we have our products. And let's try to search. So cap works. T-shirt works. So we just need to work on the look and feel, but maybe this is something we could do quickly. But let me stop here. I think we showed that it's relatively easy to integrate that, and you have the base now to do it yourself. So thanks for listening.